So I'm a bit confused from these questions that I be getting asked. And the frequently asked question is, how do you know it's true? Give me the documents without it being scientific or without it being scientific documents. And I just sit back and I'm thinking like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you want? Are you looking for different, squirrels or tablets, or I don't know. I'm really pondering on this to think, what documents do y'all speak of? Because it's more than one people that's just saying the same stuff. But the thing is, the scientific documents, well, anything that you finna get documents on is gonna be scientific. If you're asking somebody to prove how chakras can relate or is the endocrine system, you're gonna have scientific documents. If you're gonna be able to see ancestry is real, how can you prove this? We're gonna get some scientific documents from epigenetics, really. Yeah, biology or stuff like that. That's the endocrine system. When you're speaking about science, see, science is really backing up spirituality. And it's so crazy because science is way more than science. Science is life, you know? It's a way of life. It's way more than what people perceive it to be. And people got core beliefs and stuff that when certain stuff contradicts it, they pick and choose what they want to believe. Like, I use this analogy a lot. So we got the real formula for water. It's H2O, 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. No one's questioning that. No one's like, and then you can get that, and it's kind of probably challenging it's complex to make water, but that's the ingredients. No one's questioning that. We know that's the formula. It's proven to be right, These scientific documents are peer reviewed. They've been replicated, and in the, purpose of replication is to see if it's done as the same results. It's see if you got the same results as the first try. So if these things has been replicated 1,000 times and each time been coming out the same, then it's kind of challenging to go against that. But you got certain stuff that goes against certain people core beliefs, and it makes them like, nah, this one I gotta sit out. I don't believe that one, or So back to the scientific methods. These are things that we figured out through time of how stuff is peer reviewed or how stuff is, perceived to be true. You have 5 different things this consists of. You have surveys, case studies, you have experimental, correlation, and naturalistic observation. And each one of those things are done in their own method to prove something to be right. So, for instance, a case study, it's going to take one particular person and basically study that person to get a universal result to all, If it's a survey or something like that, it's going to be a group of mass that, statistics or something like that, Theories, data and information. You're making theories off of data that you have existing, and information, and hypothesize on them and stuff like that. You get these things to be proven to be right. So I'm confused of what documents that everyone is looking for, especially when it's stuff like that. These things are proven to be right because of this method, Stuff like the correlation, just different relationships referring to each other, but correlation don't cause causation, and you got to do experimental to get the causation. It's certain stuff that's going on, and everything that's proven to be right through quantum physics, through neuroscience, epigenetics, physiology, psychology. Like, these are the formulas that how they got their research, you know? So yeah, you know, and that's why I love science, because like I say, science is really backing up spirituality. So if you thinking about stuff like, if you feel like paranoid stuff is happening or something like that, you know, and certain stuff is just happening around you, or you feeling certain stuff, well, quantum physics proves this through the double. So when I'm saying science is more than science and it's like a way of life, it's backing up spirituality, you know? Ancestors, that's spirituality. Epigenetics prove that you have ancestors inside you, that you have ancestral information that goes to 15 to 20 generations. Not 15 to 20 years, 15 to 20 generations. You know how many years that is? Some years. So, it's backing up spirituality, science, becoming supernatural. When you're doing stuff like neuroscience and stuff like that, or if you're doing the neuroplasticity, or if you're regulating your nervous system, and matter of fact, if you regulate your nervous system through a diaphragmatic breathing, say you're in flight or fight, you releasing all this cortisol, all these low vibrations. You breathe in through your nostrils, expand your stomach, pull your stomach in, exhale through your nostrils. You do that repeatedly, that puts you in the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calming part of the autonomic system. And the autonomic nervous system consists of two parts. It's the parasympathetic nervous system and it's the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is the one that creates arousal. It's gonna put you in flight or fight. But we're in flight or flight and stuff for no reason. So we need to learn how to control that. That's becoming supernatural. Activating your dormant DNA through cymatics and elevated emotions. That is how you activate it. That's how you activate certain genes and stuff like that. That's within you that you've been disconnected from, you know? So when you hearing junk DNA, it's not junk DNA, it's the RNA, and you've been disassociated from it. That it still is within you, and when you go within and doing that and stuff, you can activate it, you know? That's another thing. It's backing up spirituality. That's spirituality. Quantum physics backing up spirituality. So when you're talking about stuff like energies or certain stuff happening and everything is going on, it's speaking about this unified field where all energies are at. And you can kind of look at this as the ether, how thought comes from ether and manifests into certain physical forms and stuff like that. So the unified field has all these energies, and in all of these energies are infinite possibilities. And everything is happening simultaneously. This is what the double slit experiment from quantum physics that's peer reviewed has proved. You know, that solidity is an illusion, that it's a light wave and particle duality, that everything is happening simultaneously, and that the electrons and protons in the atom is consciously aware of themselves and changes into a form of whatever frequency it resonates at once it knows it's being observed. So that means this phone that I'm recording on is consciousness. You are consciousness, obviously. But the things that we think is not consciousness, it's consciousness. It's at its own level of consciousness. Just certain things, it's consciousness. There's different levels of intellect, you know? So, and that proves how everything is collectively connected. We're saying a collective consciousness. You can go to quantum physics and you say, wow, this proves that everything is really at its own level of consciousness. Why? Because everything in the three-dimensional form, the essence of it is atoms. Well, the electrons that orbit the atoms, that's every atoms that you're made of, that I'm made of, that anything is made of in three-dimensional form, is conscious. So everything even exists as light waves when we're not looking at it. You know, until we look at it, it's being observed, then it collapses into that frequency that it resonates at. But again, this is complex for average person to really wrap their mind over, you know? So they're not gonna just be like, it sounds crazy to the average person. Like, what? Do you know what this means? They haven't questioned so many things. So in order to keep them from questioning stuff, they'll just rather dismiss it and say, nah, that's not right. That's not true. And no, that's not right. That's not true. So science is a beautiful thing, and it's a way of life. And a lot of our lineage is before colonization and religion and all of that. We studied science and nature, you know, and we operated off of our heart chakra. So the stuff that you would demonize is people that have way much greater heart and operate in their heart chakra than a person who's judging whether if it's demonic or not, and they heart not even right inside. You see that? We got people judging clean-hearted people, righteous-hearted people, and their heart not even right. And some of these beliefs are based off of love. But if some of these people are doing the love that some people are supposed to be doing and not, then it should say a lot of things. But this isn't to create a divide and conquer tactic. This is to point out universal truths, you know? So I just wanted to give that rundown about documents, but don't give me scientific documents. I don't know what you mean. I just gave you 5 different things of how people are discovering things to be true and peer-reviewed. Now, you can ignore it, or, you know, you don't gotta ignore it. I don't know. Take it, do what you want to do with it. It is what it is. But this was very needed, and people need to know that. Science is a way of life. It's a beautiful thing, and it backs up spirituality that everyone is intrinsic to. You know, and I don't say this to start commotion or try to make it problematic or anything, because it's not. It's about all of that, but it's very important for people to realize that everyone is intrinsic to spirituality and everyone isn't intrinsic to religion. And that's just that, you know? So I hope this was helpful to some people, and I hope it can get you thinking, because I don't even try to push my ideology on the people. I don't want to try to force information on them and stuff. I merely say stuff to have others think. Like, do the research yourself. Once I'm done talking, like, I mean, if it's certain stuff that I can assist with and you can ask questions, of course, I can hear it. I'm going to be real with you. If I don't know it, I don't know it. I'm not going to act like I know it. I'm going to tell you what I read. That's peer-reviewed, who I've got the information from. Because some of this stuff, even before I started college and stuff, I was getting information from reliable sources. I will watch podcasts or a 3-hour TED talk show or anything that's like that, that's giving out this information with these real people who's been doing this stuff for 50 years or more or stuff like that. You know, real university college professors and stuff like that, you know. So there's not no stuff that I just think or I just got some information around with it and stuff. This stuff is peer reviewed. That word means something, you know. So definitely think, man. Everybody has their own individual logic and reasoning. You go over that and formulate your opinion on it. It doesn't matter if it goes against your core belief. It doesn't matter if it goes against anything that you thought that you were supposed to have stand for. Everything is liable to act accordingly and figure out stuff is wrong and like, you know, I gotta fix this behavior. Even me, what I know and the stuff that I see and stuff, once I get accurate data and stuff, I change this stuff. I don't just be like, nah, this is what it is. And, you know, I stand rooted in this. No, I'm rooted in a universal occurrence. Rooted in a universal truth. The natural occurrence of things. And that's why I always rebel. I always knew inside me what was right and what was wrong. Even the things that I was subject to believe and or thought that I had to be about and stuff, always felt it wrong, and I always rebelled. And that's why. Because it's a different story. But that's the whole main thing, man. And yeah, I hope this was good for people. And yeah, peace.